Hello everyone, my name is Alexey Dobryansky. I'm a senior software engineer with the Business Central team in Denmark. Today I walk you through the latest improvements in cost adjustment for this release. Cost adjustment is a crucial step for ensuring accurate inventory valuation in the system. And we've been working a lot to making it more performant, reliable, and transparent to users. In this session, I'll cover 4 key enhancements. Iterative adjustment for better control over a large volume of transactions, forced adjustment to correct issues when needed, a self-diagnostics that makes the cost adjustment more proactive in identifying inefficiencies and highlighting them, and the cost adjustment traces for those who are interested in internals, how the cost adjustment is doing behind the scene, and to analyze and troubleshoot the adjustment process. Let's dive into each of these features. Cost adjustment for high volume items, for items with large amount of transaction, can be challenging, and the cost adjustment might not finish in one run. To make it possible to complete the adjustment, we now allow adjustment on a period-by-period basis. On an inventory cost adjustment page, which is a starting point for every cost adjustment investigation, select an item, go to cost adjustment entry points, select the date until which you want to complete the adjustment, and run the adjust cost until valuation date. Okay? The same way you can adjust specific production and assembly orders with going to production orders to adjust here and select the order or orders that you need to adjust and choose adjust cost for selected orders. We've also introduced item-by-item committing, which helps to reduce log times and to prevent full reruns if one of the items fail. To run the cost adjustment with this mode, use the report, start the report, adjust cost item entries with item-by-item adjustment toggle on. Sometimes, especially on old or highly customized environments, you might spot an item which is marked as adjusted, but some of its entries carry incorrect, inaccurate cost. To force a rerun of cost adjustment for such entries, you can use these 2 actions. On the item ledger entries page, use an action mark for adjustment for an inbound entry, so the linked outbound entries will also be recalculated. And then on a new item application entries page, you can reset outbound entries updated with a namesake action to reprocessed outbound entries to ensure that will be reconsidered in the next adjustment. To help you detect and resolve inefficiencies, Business Central now scans your setup and the cost adjustment data. When you open the Inventory Cost Adjustment tool, you will see a notification that the system has detected potential issues in data or settings that may affect the cost adjustment. The Action Messages page lists the warnings for the following inefficiencies. When the cost adjustment is not running automatically and not scheduled for manual or regular run, if the settings are not optimal for the best performance, when inventory periods are not in use, and we strongly recommend that everybody uses inventory period, many production assembly orders are not adjusted, many periods require adjusted, and long processing times for individual items or items that are excluded from cost adjustment exists, and specific data discrepancies. The diagnostics happens automatically, but you can manually run a scan anytime using run checks action. If you need a break, if you need to pause, you can snooze the diagnostics up to 30 days, but you cannot disable it completely. Cost adjustment can sometimes take longer time than expected, and the reasons for that aren't always obvious. The Cost Adjustment Tracer tool will help you analyze what's going on behind the scene. On the inventory cost adjustment tool, you need to create or select a batch, set a timeout time up to 12 hours, and run the cost adjustment with trace toggle on. While the cost adjustment is in process, it records events, processed entries, and the information about these entries, such as items, location, variance, production assembly orders, and the cost differences calculated by the cost adjustment. Once complete, successfully or unsuccessfully, the log will be saved to database, and you can find this log under the trace log action. And we strongly recommend that you use page to analysis view mode, because the log can be too large to analyze it line by line manually. If I have problems with these two items, I can select them, use Add Batch here, so add these two items to the batch, open the item batches, we see two items that I've selected, I click the trace toggle here, and run the cost adjustment for these two items. The cost adjustment is complete, and I can look at the trace log that was recorded for these two items. We introduced the inventory cost adjustment tool a year ago, and since then we have continued improving its performance and features. And these new enhancements, iterative adjustments, forced adjustment, self-diagnostics, and tracing will help you gain more control, improve efficiency, and troubleshoot issues faster. To stay updated on our progress and new capabilities, or provide us feedback, check out the resources listed on that slide. Thank you, and let's keep the costs accurate and up to date together.